Yeah, this is Jose Aldo versus Jonathan Martinez. I do like Jose Aldo quite a bit. Not much needs to be said about Jose Aldo. If you're a new fan, I'm not going to give you a recap. The only thing I can properly speak for Jose Aldo is for you to watch his repertoire. That's the only thing that can speak for how impressive Jose Aldo has been for the sport. Uh, Unfortunately, he gets memed on a lot because he was undefeated for something ridiculous like fucking 9 years or something crazy before Connor KO'd him in 13 seconds. So that's all people kind of remember about him since then. And that just does not do him credit. That does not do his career justice at all. Before, since then, maybe even currently. I don't think currently because I really think he should have stayed retired because he hasn't fought since 2022. So this is Jose Aldo's first fight back since then when he lost a unanimous decision to Merab Dvalishvili. Don't really need to say much about that. No shame in that. Merab Dvalishvili, the king of I'll shoot 70 takedowns, maybe only get 3, and the fucking judges will sit there with their thumbs up their ass and jerk off to it and enjoy it. So there you go. Even though Dvalishvili's kind of growing on me, I will admit. Nonetheless, back to the topic at hand. Jose Aldo, yeah, he's, you know, see, the man's been competing for fucking ever, and he's managed to stay pretty competitive, even moving up and down in weight classes. When he fought Connor, that was at 145. Later stages of his career, like right now, he's dropped down to 135 bantamweight, where this fight's taking place. And when he first started doing that, and I believe like 2021, he had some good success. Unanimous decision win over Rob Font, unanimous decision over Pedro Munoz, good wins over those guys at the time. Beat Cheeto Vera, unanimous decision. Did lose to Peter Yan in 2020 by KO TKO. So he's been in bantamweight actually since fucking 2019. That's when he dropped down, was 2019. Lost to Marlon Moraes. That's a little bit concerning considering how much off the cliff Marlon Moraes went in his career. But other than that, pretty good wins over Cheeto and Munoz and fucking Rob Font. So not bad. Just once again, think he should have stayed retired because Jonathan Martinez is really looking like that guy in the division. And that's a division that I've said this before. I'm really tired of people fucking hyping up 155, the lightweight division, as the Shark Tank. It's not the fucking Shark Tank anymore when Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje just take turns fucking running a train on title shots that they don't deserve. They're those guys that show up looking like threes, pulling tens, and you don't fucking know how. That's the state of the lightweight division right now with Dustin Poirier and Justin Gaethje. Bantamweight, meanwhile, you got guys like fucking Dvalishvili, Jonathan Martinez, fucking who else? I mean, Sean O'Malley's the champ.
Right.
Aljo moved up, but just those guys alone, those 3 guys there, Jonathan Martinez, fucking O'Malley. Let me just go ahead and pull up the rankings to really illustrate it to you guys because I'm having a fucking brain fart right now.
Cheeto.
Because Cheeto, yeah, even though Cheeto got his ass whooped, he's still a fucking threat to anybody at any time. Corey Sandhagen, goddamn, how could I forget Corey Sandhagen? Corey Sandhagen, Peter Yan, even though he's coming off injury, he did
Song Yadong.
he did look good against Dong. I'm not going to mention Henry Cejudo. We're just going to forget that. Moving on.
No.
Davison Figueroa. Hey, Davison Figueroa's
Big win.
making some noise. Song Yadong, Rob Font, Umar no, Nurma, Kyler Phillips, Mario Batista, Munoz nowadays, Ricky Simone, maybe. And then Dominic Cruz needs to retire. He's at 11 somehow, but hey, that's the rankings for you. What I'm getting at with this is he just made Jonathan Martinez did short work of a guy I was very, very high on, and I picked against him in this fight. Adrian Yanez, TKO leg kick, like it was fucking nothing. Just dominated Yanez, a guy a lot of people were high on as a dark horse in 135. They don't call him tranquilized Yanez for no fucking reason. Made him look like an amateur, kicked his ass pillar to post. Saeed Nurmagomedov win. Pretty fucking impressive. He's not the best Nurmagomedov, but he's nonetheless a fucking Nurmagomedov. Unanimous decision. TKO over Cup Swanson. He's getting up there in age, but that's respectable for 2 years ago. Vince Morales, Alejandro Perez, this guy who's not even in the UFC, doesn't even have a Wikipedia page, Thomas Almeida at the time was decent. Frankie Sands, What I'm getting at is the guy's doing pretty fucking well for himself after a rough debut, losing to Andre Soccer Mom, a.k.a. Sukumthoth. You guys know him as the guy who could have beaten Sean O'Malley had he literally just fucking walked away because Sean O'Malley could not stand up on his leg, fell down on the canvas, and Soccer Mom just fucking gave him the win. So yeah, he's not even in the UFC, but there's some definite potential there with Martinez. So this is one of those fights that kind of has me wondering, is this going to be a case of I hate when this happens, but at the same time, with a guy I genuinely personally like Aldo, it doesn't sting as much when a guy who clearly needs to fucking retire and is clearly the old guard gatekeeps so hard that he prevents a guy who's a young, bright prospect from entering. I can't really bitch too much when I personally like them like Aldo. And I mean, that is their purpose, to gatekeep, to see if they are truly elite and deserving of take that next step. But I would be a little disappointed if he did succeed in holding fucking Martinez back, because I just enjoy new talent, and Aldo's done it all. He's had his shot. He's had his chance. He's had the belt. Even if he wins, it just feels futile because he's not going to go much farther in bantamweight, having already lost to Devishvili and having to get through all these other fucking sharks swimming around him. So I'm going to go with Jonathan Martinez begrudgingly, and something's telling me I might regret it. But I just like Jonathan Martinez. He's a younger guy, and I just feel like Aldo's sticking around a little too long. And when you stick around a little too long in MMA, you don't get a graceful retirement. You don't get to just sign with the fucking Falcons and retire, or whatever your dream team that you started with is. You usually end up getting posterized or on somebody's highlight reel. I don't know if that's going to happen this fight, but it doesn't exactly leave me very confident. So I'm picking Martinez. I don't know by KO TKO. Aldo's tough. He's very hard to put out, but I'll say probably I'll just take the money line depending on what it's at. What do you got, Ben?
I love your breakdown. I love your breakdown. I don't have a ton to add to that. Um, Jose Aldo, one of his best things was his leg kicks. And then you look at Jonathan Martinez, and I believe he is one of two people that have multiple leg kick KOs in their career, because he got it
Yes.
on the guy you were talking about in Cub Swanson. Um, I just think
Cub and Yanez.
yes. I just think Martinez, he's really talented, dude. And this fight just reminds me so much of just back at UFC 300. We were just talking about it, and I love that you added, I might regret it, because you said that about this fight that I'm about to talk about too. You said, I might regret it. You even texted me, you're like, I knew I was going to regret it. The Oliveira fight. So you can
Oh,
Oliveira fight.
yeah.
We said, you know what? Oliveira's been around for forever. Everybody knows Oliveira. Everybody's gonna throw money on Oliveira. Oliveira ended up being the heaviest. Most money was on Oliveira out of any fight that night, and we both took Saryukin and we said, you know what? He's gonna get it done. He said, I'm nervous, but I'm gonna go on that side with you. I'm also on the Martinez side with you for the money line, and I think once again we might see a whole bunch of money coming on Jose Aldo. Aldo's currently the favorite, so they might think, you know what? All these other fights that have these huge numbers, I'll take Aldo at minus 115 versus a minus 112, and I'll cash out that way when the dude hasn't fought since August 2022. I don't see much of a downside with Martinez in this fight. I know Aldo's a legend, but we're not talking about careers. We're talking about UFC 301, and I think Martinez is the side to be on.
Right. And great point mentioning one of Aldo's best weapons being the leg kick. That also isn't, like you said, going to be something that Martinez is going to struggle with, because he likes throwing just as many fucking leg kicks. So he's going to know how to check those. He's going to know how to prepare for those, etc. The guys that Aldo made work of coming up in his, 9 years or however fucking ridiculously long it was undefeated streak while he was holding the belt and everything. The guys he succeeded against were like your wrestle boxers, like your Chad Mendez, those type of guys, like your Uriah Faber. I don't really remember if Faber was a wrestle boxer because I haven't watched too many of his actual fights. But the guys he struggled with were other good strikers, like Conor McGregor was the better striker. Max Holloway, better striker in their two fights that Max Holloway beat him and everything. Those are the guys he struggles with. Guys who are anywhere close to or equal to or better than him on the striking level. I feel like Martinez could certainly have the talent striking wise to at least hang with him. I'm not necessarily saying he's on Aldo's level, because Aldo's had so much fucking more time and experience and etc. to cultivate the skill set. But what I'm getting at is Aldo at this advanced age is kind of a prime candidate to be taken advantage of by Martinez. He's not some slow, plodding wrestle boxer that, Aldo used to kick the shit out of their legs, time their takedowns with knees to try and knock them out, shit like that. Like, that's not really who Martinez is. He's not really tailor-made for Aldo, like Aldo's kind of made for him type thing.
You better start listening to the Better in Green podcast. You will not regret it. Trust me, trust me, trust me. And hey, I'm Dean Blandino.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? Listening to cash out, that's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover all spot from the bottom to the top, hey. Shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome, welcome to our podcast, Better in Green.